Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aylin, and today, as you can clearly tell by the title and thumbnail, we are going to be doing my June reset. How are we halfway through the year already? That's insane. I believe last month I took a break from doing resets, but my office/library desperately needs it this month, so we are back doing it again. I am very excited to do this. I'm very excited to set a TBR and everything. I will admit though, I am feeling a little bit frazzled because I did not sit down and plan this one out, but I think it's going to be good nonetheless. We need to straighten up my office as we have done in previous videos. I need to rearrange some books on some shelves. I will admit that I have done that kind of already because yesterday my office was a disaster and I knew I was going to be filming this, but I just couldn't leave it the way that it was, so I had to fix it up a little bit. There's still plenty for me to fix up, which gives me a good enough amount to do for this reset. So we're gonna get started on that and then kind of go through my shelves, putting things away, and then we'll dive into what I'm currently reading, what I'm currently in the middle of, what this month kind of looks like for me, and the TBR. And I think that'll be pretty much it. I want to do a separate planning video for my videos for the month and all of that kind of stuff. So that might be over on my lifestyle channel, hopefully very soon. But for now, we're doing this. So let's get started with cleaning things up in here because it is catastrophic. Alright, so I just finished cleaning up in here, minus one lonely Target bag on the floor, if you picked up on that. And that is because I have a couple books in here that I need to find homes for. I definitely need to do a full bookshelf reorganization very soon. I did one around this time last year. I don't know if I posted it around this time last year, but I know I did one around this time last year. So I need to do another one, but I want to do a bookshelf tour before I take these apart and redo them. And I also don't know potentially how much longer I'm going to be in this room as my library. I'm slowly sinking because I was hovering on my knees and it's too painful. I don't know how much longer I'm really going to be in this room as my library, so I don't know if I want to do a full reorganization or just kind of live with chaos for a little bit. That is something I will decide in the future. Either way, I will give you a bookshelf tour. I need to find homes for these two. This one I got at Target, this one I got at Barnes & Noble. I am extremely excited about both of them, but let me get a little bit more comfortable and then we can talk about the things that I'm currently reading. I also want to do my TBR into two different sections this month. I want to do an actual TBR, the things that I must read this month, and then I want to do a hopeful section, which I know a lot of other people do, and I've done once or twice in the past, not very frequently, but I really want to utilize that because there are a bunch of books that I think I'm going to get to and then I don't end up. I knew there was a high probability of me not getting to them, and I don't know why I don't create like just a separate section for that in these videos. So we're going to be doing that today as well, but let me not sit on my feet so that they're numb, and we'll talk about that. Much better. Just as an aside, in case anyone is ever wondering why I don't sit in that chair for some of my videos, I have a huge window right here, so the light is better like directly in front of it, especially on days like today when it's really overcast and there's not a ton of natural light left. Like, the lighting here is great, impeccable, but back there it looks way darker just because the light's not hitting that part of the room as much. That's why I pull out my desk chair and film here, in case anyone was ever wondering. I've never gotten questions about it, but like if I was a viewer, I'd probably wonder. So let's talk about the things that I am currently reading. First, on audiobooks, so that I don't forget, I am currently listening to Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I'm currently at 28% of the way through this. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it by the end of May or not. It's currently May 28th when I'm filming this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish this audiobook or not. It is pretty long, but I also have 3.5, if you're including the rest of today, days to finish it. If I don't finish that one will definitely be on my June TBR. I also have the audiobook checked out for Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. My best friend told me that both of these were really good, so I am going to listen to them. They are books that I want to add to my shelves, but I want to make sure that I like them before I pick them up. The other thing that I am currently reading is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read this, but I am very excited to be reading this now that I've finally started it. I'm currently 58 pages into this and really liking the snarky banter between both of our male main characters. If you didn't know, this is a male-male romance between the first female president's son in America and then the second Prince of England named Henry. Since they are the sons of two powerful world leaders, they have to attend a lot of the same events, and so Alex has definitely developed a distaste for Henry, and Henry doesn't really understand why, but then they get everything. Of course, they slowly become friends, and then it develops even more than that. This was really popular when it first came out. I have owned this copy of this book since it first came out, 2019. So that is insane that I have not read it, but it's been on my shelves for literally 5 years. No time like the present. So I am very excited to finally be picking this one up. I am hoping to read more of it tonight. I would also ideally like to finish this before June is fully started, but if I don't, then this will be on the list. Then, fun fact about me. This is the bag that I carry to and from work every single day, and I carry multiple books in it, and just like things to do that I think I might need throughout the day, even though sometimes I don't even touch it. In here I do have a couple of books as well as my Kindle. First, I have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, because as you will see in my May wrap up, I finally finished Loathe to Love You, that like little novella bind up, and it just made me want to read more Ali Hazelwood, so I picked this one up because I am in the middle of this one. I'm also 58 pages into this. Apparently the number 58 is a good number for me today. I also thought it would be fun in the month of June to do like reading pink books for a week, and then like throughout the year just do more fun color themed vlogs. So I thought that these could be fun for that. I haven't fully settled on whether or not I'm going to do that video yet, but if I do, these two will be in it. And then the other book is one that I recently got in the mail, and hopefully you will have seen that video of like my book shopping vlog before this one, and that is Blood and Steel by Helen Shorer. This is the first book in the Legends of Thesmar series. I got a bunch of first books in fantasy romance because there are a few that I want to try, this being one of them. I've heard nothing specifically from Raven Haired Reader or Rachel. I really want to give this one a go because it sounds so good. I read like the little excerpt that you can get on Amazon for free. I know it's on Kindle Unlimited, but I didn't want to fully check out the book. I just wanted a sample because I knew I was going to get a physical copy just to make sure I liked it, and it was really intriguing. So very excited to own a copy of this one. And then at my boyfriend's house I also have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross as well, which I'm only 78 pages into, and I would really like to wrap that one up. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to happen this month. That might be a hopeful. I am wanting to read more fantasy this month, as evidenced by this being in my bag, but I'm not sure necessarily how much I will get through. That is everything that I'm like currently reading in the middle of. Let's really quickly talk about everything that is happening for me in the month of June so that I can set realistic reading goals. This month is Father's Day as well as my dad's birthday. We are celebrating that all in one weekend, so that is a weekend that I will be away. It is definitely a weekend wherein I could read a lot of audiobooks potentially, but I don't anticipate a lot of reading being done. The other thing that is happening in June is that my best friend is moving back into town, which I literally cannot like, I can't even speak. I'm so excited. I cannot contain my excitement for that. That is happening the second half of June. So when that happens, we do like to read together, but we haven't been physically around each other since my birthday, which was in December. So it's been about 6 months. We've got a lot of time to make up. Not that we don't talk every day, but just like going to Target, going to the bookstore, being physically around each other, cannot wait. She'll probably be in some videos. We're so excited. That's happening. The only other thing that could potentially affect my reading this month is that my boyfriend is going away for a work trip in the beginning half of June, and during that time I anticipate I will hopefully be reading and editing a lot of things. That's the goal. That's what I want my primary focus to be on, is gym, editing, and reading, and not really make too much time for much else. Like I said, I have a busy second half of the month, and so I want to be prioritizing those things before, like, during that week. Those are the things happening this month that could potentially affect my reading positively and negatively. We'll see how it plays out. I'm still hoping to have like a regular reading month for myself around those things, like the first half of June, and maybe my best friend and I will read a ton while she's here. But now is the time that is like the most exciting. We are going to shop my shelves, but like I mentioned, I want to do 2 different like sections. So I'm going to be breaking up the piles into hopefuls as well as things that like I know I'm going to read, and then we'll go through them both. Let me start looking around, perusing my shelves, and we'll meet back here in just a second. Both stacks of books next to me. I know you can't see them. We're going to go through them. Also, if you hear any background noise, my mom is currently giving her dog a bath. That dog does not like baths. You can imagine how it's going. Over here I have my hopefuls, and over here I have books that I definitely want to get to this month. With both of these piles, I'm trying to be really realistic with myself. So I have a good stack here, but most of it is like romance and things that I can get through quickly. And then these are like more of the Delulu books. As I already talked about earlier, Love on the Brain and Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston by Ali Hazelwood. These ones I would like to either finish up this month or get to next month. And then a couple of my friends and I have some of the same books. So one that we all really want to read together is The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I haven't read this one. I read The Final Gambit when it came out, and for whatever reason just never got around to this one, so I would like to change that. One of my friends is currently reading it. She's encouraging the 2 of us to read it as well, so I would like to wrap this series up so I can be caught up when the next 2 books come out in this world later this year. That is the 4th book in the Inheritance games, by the way. It's basically kind of like a Knives Out but YA type of book. And then we all recently went for the like Memorial Day sale that Barnes & Noble had and picked up a copy of Camera Shy by Kay Cove. This one sounds really good, really smutty. It takes place in Vegas after this woman is broken up with by her boyfriend because their intimate life is just too bland for his liking. She's determined for that to never be a reason for someone to break up with her again. She has someone help her with that, and I'm sure they catch feelings. It also looks like the chapters in this one are relatively short, which is one of the things that I look for in a book. Then a book I put on my TBR last month, but if I'm honest with myself, I've just seen myself reading it like this first full week in June. I don't know why. That's just when I envisioned this happening, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I have yet to read one of her literary fiction romance novels yet, so I figured I would start, because most people say read them in order, with this one. This one is about two writers, January and August, I believe, are struggling during their writing retreat to to write their own genres, so they swap, and they used to be like rivals in college, I believe. So they swap genres and like kind of use each other for inspiration for the novels that they are writing. Then I have a couple books that I recently picked up. The first one being Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I know Leather and Lark comes out, I think maybe today. This is the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. This is a serial killer romance where they are both serial killers. I've heard really, really good things about this one. My best friend is currently reading it, so I wanted to give it a try. It's been on my radar for a while. Again, I just think that this would be like fun to read. It's kind of got like the same cover aesthetic as Camera Shy, which I'm living. And then the other one that I recently picked up was Mimi's Tales of Terror by Junji Ito. It's a manga. I really enjoy Junji Ito's books, a manga, whatever you want to call it. This one sounds creepy. It's one of the ones that I have most recently picked up, so I am excited to get to this one. Plus, I just have so much Junji Ito on my shelves that I haven't read. I went through and I think about half of the books that I own by him I have read, and I own most of his collections that have come out like this, and then half I haven't read, so I want to kind of trim that number down. And then lastly, because my best friend is coming into town, her and I both share a love for poetry, so I really want to read Home by Whitney Hansen. I read Harmony in February and absolutely loved it. I needed a little bit of a break from poetry, so I think when she's home, no pun intended, we will probably do like a little poetry reading date together, because that's something that we love to do. I'm hoping we do anyway, because like I said, I love doing that with her, so I think that this one would be fun to read. She's already read it, so like we can go through some of the poems together and just like cry, and it'll be beautiful. Moving on to the hopefuls. The stack is like smaller in quantity but very intimidating. So first up, I have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book in the Empyrean series, first book being Fourth Wing. I read Fourth Wing in April, I believe, and really, really enjoyed it, so I want to continue on before I forget everything that happens, and like while the story is still relatively fresh in my mind. My main goal for the month of June is just to start this and like make some solid progress, even if that's just 100 pages. It doesn't need to be anything super substantial, just substantial enough that I can say like I'm reading it, because I don't want to get like 2 pages in. I should have also put the first book of the Legends of Thesmar, Blood and Steel, on here. I just forgot to grab it out of my bag, but know that that is on like somewhere in the middle of these two piles. The other fantasy romance that I really want to try to read this month is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is like a rebellion fantasy. This is the first book in the Kindred Curse saga. I read the prologue sample type of thing on Kindle and was obsessed. I'm not sure how I'm going to be feeling if I finish Blood and Steel after that, if I'm going to want to continue on with that series or like start a new one. This is a potential contender. And then, as I mentioned, I really want to read more of the books that are on my Junji Ito shelf. Frankenstein. This one is a short story collection that obviously includes his rendition of Frankenstein, which I think is going to be so cool, so eerie and gory and gross, and I'm very, very excited to read it. I have a few of his short story collections on my shelves that I still need to read, but this is the one that I was like, I feel like this would be good. It's been so long since I read Junji Ito. I honestly might take Mimi's Tales of Terror with me today. And then I have a couple of Book of the Month books, because I really want to be better about reading these throughout the year. I have The Return of Ellie Black by Amiko Jean. This one kind of gives me like the same synopsis vibe as The Reappearance of Rachel Price. Not saying it's the same, I'm just saying like the synopsis gives me similar vibes. I genuinely have no idea really what either of those two books are about. I think these people are missing for quite a while and then they come back suspiciously. But other than that, I don't know like really the details of it. Seems like it had short chapters. It's a relatively short book. So trying to like manage my expectations for myself. And then the other one, I don't know if this necessarily has short chapters, but it's something I've been eyeing and like wanting to read for a while, and that is First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I've heard such amazing things about this one, and I recently saw someone post that this was like a mystery thriller, but it's not too scary. Not too sure on the synopsis of this one. I remember reading it and thinking it sounded interesting and then immediately forgetting it, which is honestly kind of ideal because I feel like I can guess a lot of the times like what's happening. Maybe not necessarily in thrillers, but like it takes sometimes a lot for a book to surprise me, and I like being surprised. So forgetting things is really helpful, and like not reading the synopsis is kind of nice. This is the other book of the month book that I would really like to get to this month. Another one that I really want to read, I have on my Spotify app, Holding by Alexandria House. There's a 90% chance that I will end up reading this in the month of June because I read the first book in the St. Louis Sires series. This is the second book. Absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star romance for me, one of my favorite romances of all time. Highly anticipating reading this one. I don't know too much, I just know it follows another player on the hockey team. This is an NHL romance. I think it's like a second chance romance, don't quote me on that, like childhood friends to lovers, and they're back in each other's lives. I'm super excited about all of these books. I'm really excited for the month of June and everything that it has to come. I don't know that I'll necessarily get to all of these, but like I said, they all sound amazing and I want to really focus on reading things from my shelves. That is going to be it from me. Definitely let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these books, what your thoughts were, and what your reading plans for the month of June are, or if you just have any other like fun plans for the month of June. I love talking to you guys, even if all you say is hi. My dogs are barking, so that is my cue to go, but I love y'all so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing well reading mentally and otherwise, and I really hope to see you all in my next video very, very soon. Bye guys.